Karan, the person I'm thinking of, I'm not going to say their name, but we need to come up with a code name for them because they're going
Sure.
to come
I,
up.
I I think I know who you're talking about, but go
Okay.
ahead.
Please give me one hint that lets me know that you know.
Uh, Long hair, baseball cap backwards all the time. Am
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah. One more
All right.
hint.
All right. Backyard soccer, live oak, an oak come to life.
Oh, yes. Yeah. 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 100%. Okay. That, so that, yeah. Yeah.
Man,
That's the
that
guy.
description was just epic because as you said that, I just looked over and you just stomping around like running after.
He, yeah, our friend, let's give him a name.
Go ahead.
Okay. Oh, I'm overthinking it. But it requires,
You
it
can
has to
call him.
work.
You can call him.
What would you
Uh,
call him?
I don't know. We want
To,
to
um,
call him. We can call him
Dan?
Mac. Yeah,
Mac?
sure.
Oh, wait,
Mac.
wait. Mac? Mac. I kind
Yeah.
of like, dude, that's genius. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know
yeah.
why? Yeah.
I
So
do.
it works.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Go ahead.
That's genius. Okay. Yeah. All right. So Mac was like, oh my God, that's so good. Good job, dude. I love it. Mac, yeah. Mac would actually Mac, our friend from Boston. I mean, more so my friend, but Curran
Yeah.
would like tolerate him. And to be to be fair, everyone kind of tolerated him. He was. I don't mean. How do I say that? He was a lot. And he knew he was a lot. It was interesting because he per, he quite consciously was a lot all the time, but he expected different results than he would
Yeah.
get. So
Right.
he would go into a situation and in his mind be like, I'm going to be a lot. But then he would be like, I'm going to be a lot and everyone's going to love me.
Yeah.
And then they wouldn't, and he would get really pissed off and sometimes
Yeah.
fight someone,
Yep.
or get arrested.
Or just rant about it until we were like, you got to stop.
Rant about it until we fell asleep or something. Like I'll never forget the time we brought Mac with us to, okay, you had that friend Brittany, and
Right.
she was like, we were like, you asked her, could we bring Matt's friend Mac
Yeah.
to your friend's birthday party? Because her friend, some
Oh
guy we
yeah,
didn't
I
know,
remember.
her friend
Yes.
was having a birthday party. And you were like, can we bring Matt? And she was like, sure, yeah, bring him. I'm sure he's reasonable in every way. Never met him, but he must be normal.
Little did she know.
And little did she know, not quite the case. And so you're like, yeah, Matt, you can bring him. And I was like, okay. It's like I had a pet Tyrannosaurus in my basement and I had to ask permission to bring him to parties and stuff. And I was like, so we brought Mac to her friend's birthday party, and we go in their house, and I used to love house parties. I liked it much more
Yeah.
than bars and shit. It was much more
Oh yeah, me
interesting.
too. Me too.
Yeah, house parties were great. You never know what kind of environment it's going to be. Sometimes it's kind of an interesting house, especially in Boston. There's a lot of old homes, and the
Yeah.
students would rent rooms in these kind of spooky old homes,
Yeah.
and it was
Yeah.
kind of cool because it was like, it was like. I don't believe in ghosts, but it was like there was a haunted aspect to it. There was
Yeah.
cobwebs. It was like there would be rooms that you just didn't go in.
Yeah.
And you don't get that in LA at all. So there's a lot of wood. Everything's made of wood instead of stucco or cement. And they're all like 150-year-old homes, and students would just live in homes like that. I lived in a house like Karan and I lived in a house like that.
Right.
And in LA, nothing's old. If something's 50 years old in LA, it's like, wow, it's a relic. It's like, I can't believe how old it is. It's 60 years old. But in Boston, it's like things are like 200 years old and stuff. Anyway, so we go into this we bring Mac with us and we show up at this party, this house party for some kid's birthday, and we didn't know the kid whose birthday it was. And, I just remember at one point Brittany was like, something's wrong with um the host, like the birthday boy. He just disappeared. He was like gone. Do you know where I'm going with this?
I kind of recall this
And
vaguely.
Brittany, I just remember seeing Brittany in like a hushed tone, kind of like whispering to you or talking to you. She's like, something's wrong. Something's wrong with the guy, the host, the birthday boy. He's like, he's just locked himself he's in a room. He's separated himself from the party, and he wasn't like taking part in his own party. And he was like off in his bedroom or something, like alone. And meanwhile, I see Mac out of the corner of my eye just talking someone's ear off over there by the fireplace or something, and probably speaking in French. He was fluent in French, which was insane. He was actually very good with language. He was like, he would pick up a new language incredibly quickly. I do think he was, I have ADHD. I do think he was either Asperger's or ADHD or some neurodivergent thing, but he would have, and a sign of that a lot of times is polarized skills in certain things. And, but he definitely had that. And, he was great with, so he was, and he would go to parties and just start speaking French. And sometimes he would adopt a French persona and like lied to trick people into thinking he was a French guy. And they always believed it. And, I remember he had an alias. His name, he would say his name was Jean-Pierre Washington.
Oh yeah, I
He
recall
gave him,
that, right?
yeah, his whole shtick was he gave himself this super white, not French last name, but his first name was Jean-Pierre, and he would pronounce it in like, he spoke with a perfect French accent, and he was fluent. So they really thought he was a French guy named Jean-Pierre Washington. Anyway, so Brittany's like, what's going on? The host of the party has disappeared, what's wrong with him, or what's happened? So come to find out, I guess she's talked to him about it or something, but come to find out, Mac, who, remember, nobody there knows him. It's his first time meeting any of these people.
Yeah.
Apparently he had gone up to the guy whose birthday it was, who was the host of the party, this kid, and the kid told a joke, and then I guess it wasn't funny, or Mac didn't think it was funny, and so Mac goes like he pretended to laugh and then stopped him. You can't see it because this is a recording, but he pretended to laugh at the guy's joke, but then completely shut his face down to a complete solemn expression in a split second to like emphasize your joke's
How
not funny.
not funny it was
Yeah.
to him, yeah.
And then just serious face like the Joker or something. And it totally freaked the kid out and depressed him and made him feel bad. And he like abandoned his own party.
Oh my
All
goodness.
because of this fucking guy, Mac, that we brought. And then, and if you can believe this, then after he ruined this kid's birthday party, he then, because I think Brittany was kind of like, maybe you should go. I don't think the birthday guy wants him here anymore. Like the birthday guy
Yeah.
didn't want Mac there anymore. He was like, I
Yeah.
don't want this guy at my party. He's ruining my party. So Brittany it was all between you and Brittany. It was like you were the concierge and Brittany was communicating through you. I was just on the outskirts trying to pick up the pieces, but you were, she basically, I think, wanted us to leave, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, she did.
Yeah. I used to get kicked out of parties all the time because of Mac. And so she was like, I think you should go, and so we're leaving, and Mac was like drunk, and on the way out, he fucking threw up right on their carpet by the fireplace on his way out the door. He threw up on their carpet. That was like his farewell to a party he had already destroyed. That's crazy. Wow.
It's man,
Dude,
like,
he was a terror.
This is like sounds like an episode or from a sitcom or
It's
something.
hard to believe some of
Yeah.
the stuff. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I'm sure I mean, on a certain level, it was incredibly entertaining, but on another level, it was also horrible and humiliating and miserable to deal with sometimes. But you never knew what was going to happen.
Yeah.
So the unpredictability of it, I don't know. What was your feeling being around Mac?
He was like a lot of work.
That's
I
true.
know.
He was.
That goes without saying. Like he was just being around that kid required work all the time, like
Yeah.
all the time. We were just it was just like listening to him talk because he didn't have like the normal social kind of like constructs that you know the rest of us did, like where you would like talk and then you would let somebody else talk. He would talk and then as you would respond, he would just bulldoze over you and just keep talking, and he would just keep talking. He would just keep trying to take things the way he wanted to go, and it really was hard to kind of be around him because
Yeah.
you'd be like, oh my god,
Yeah.
this takes a lot of energy. Yeah, yeah,
He would also he was very envious and jealous. And he would get really insecure and jealous and take it out in an aggressive way um on me or on whoever else, and he would sort of become he would just start acting out.
yeah,
He would get to a party and he would realize that he was no longer the center of attention, and he would just start getting really insecure and angry, and he would act out by just doing insane shit
yeah,
to get
pretty much.
attention. Even if it was like it was better for them to hate him than to ignore him.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like he's like he subscribed to that thought of like any attention is good attention. Like it doesn't matter.
Right. Any
Yeah,
attention is
just
better than no attention. And it was like if we were around, I don't know, like girls, and if one of them that he liked or something, if she seemed to take an interest in me in any way, shape, or form, even if it was subtle, it was really upsetting to him, and he would really react to that,
yeah,
and he would take it out on me. I mean, there were times when he like wanted to almost like fight me or punch me or something, because or would threaten me or would, and I would to be fair, I would then react by threatening him back or screaming at him. But I mean, shit, I mean, yeah, you can have certain friends in life who there are you have adventures with them and there are things about them that can be really fun, but if there's like a fundamental underlying something is fucked up, like they're really jealous or there's and then there were times when I would respond to his actions or his resentment with my own type of negativity or secretiveness or shittiness, and I think I've grown a lot since then as well, but yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, yeah, man, fucking Mac, he was he he was a lot of everything. He was a lot of, yeah, I mean, there were some great adventures we had, and there were some fun times, but they were always tinged with some sort of darkness or insanity. Is a good way to put it. Yeah. Uh it's like yeah, we kicked out of parties and stuff. But yeah, I guess I don't know. Did you ever have a friend who you kind of couldn't take anywhere?
no, no, never, never
No,
to that extent. Never to that
because you
extent.
were a reasonable human being.
Yeah, no, because I value my sanity. I
Did
mean,
you
as much
value your sanity?
as
I
yeah,
didn't value
I would
my
say
sanity
most.
in those days.
Yeah, you were just
Clearly.
well. I mean, you had a reason to because you guys were collaborating in
Sort
on
of.
music
I
and
mean,
stuff.
that's
Yeah,
a
sort of.
you know, not, fucking, god damn it.
We gonna have to bleep that part
I'll edit it out. Well, there's just created some more editing for myself. That's okay.
It's
Mac and
fine.
I, Yeah, Mac and I had a thing where we, you know what? Uh, I'm gonna I'm gonna end it here with the Mac
I
because
was,
because
yeah,
there's
yeah,
yeah, I want to say there's more I could say, but I think I don't think any of it will be helpful to anybody. So I think it's enough on Mac.
yeah.
But
We can call it. We
yeah,
can
we
call
can
it right
call it a
there.
day
We can
on
call it
Mac.
call it right there. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
But
yeah.
you
Hold on.
but you but you had but you so you've never had a friend who was sort of destructive in that way?
No.
Oh wait, but what about that guy what about Zach?
Oh well, he's Zach. Uh, yeah, he
But
was
he
in
was
a
your
different way.
roommate. You didn't
He was a
choose him.
roommate. No, he was my roommate, but he was yeah, he was a good kid. Like
Yeah.
he had some demons with him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he was a really nice kid, but he would drink a lot, and then he would
Yeah.
like turn into somebody else. But yeah, poor kid. He was fighting his demons, so yeah, probably I don't want to bring. Let's not bring him into this. Let's
Well, I
leave
mean,
him
it's
out of
okay. I
this.
mean, it is like, we're just but it is life. I mean, and
Yeah,
we've known these people through life. I think all of us have who
yeah.
really struggled with certain demons or, and took it out in different ways. And I mean, you know, um and I say this in the most respectful way possible, but yeah, like Curran had this roommate Zach, and it was a roommate who replaced me after I left Boston because Curran and I were roommates. I it's like I remember, like, so after at some point, yeah, so after college, it was like my parents cut me off. They weren't gonna support me anymore, and I guess I was running out of money, and I was like, what am I gonna do? In hindsight, I don't know if I would have done it differently or not. I theoretically I could have gotten some job in Boston and I guess stayed longer, but I also think part of me was like, well, I don't know what I want to do next, and I do want to move to LA.
Hmm.
I always wanted I always knew I wanted to move to LA. So I think when I no longer had parental financial support, I was like, well, I can't pay the rent here in Boston anymore. I don't know what to do. And it was shitty. It was shitty for Curran because I had to leave and go. I moved back home in Maryland. I moved back in, with my mom for a year or two before moving out to LA. And in that time, it was, it was tough for Curran because he was kind of felt alone in Boston. And well, he still had Megha there, his future wife and stuff, but
Right.
and some friends, I guess, maybe like Ketan. Was Ketan still
Yeah,
there?
yeah. There were some people
There were a few friends,
there.
but Karen and I were best friends, and we were thick as thieves in those days. And it was like, and I was his roommate. And when I moved out, we had to find someone to replace me in the lease, and it was tough. It was a tough time, and I had a pet python, Priscilla, a blood
Yeah,
py a Burmese, Bornean,
blood python, right? She was
yeah,
blood.
like from Indonesia, this blood python, Sumatran or whatever it was, Indonesian blood python, this beautiful python,
Yeah,
that
she's pretty cool.
Curran picked a name for her, Priscilla, perfect name. Um, as you can see, Curran's good at picking names. And he named her Priscilla, and she grew to, like, how long do you think she was at the end of
She's
her
pretty
life?
man. She's pretty long. I think she was at least like 4 feet. I'd say, or maybe three and a
Maybe,
half.
I think at
I'd
least
say.
four.
Yeah,
But
it's
even more
pretty
so
big.
than being even yeah, very thick, even more so than being long, she was really thick and muscular.
Yeah, she
Um,
was.
and I actually love that about pythons, but especially species of python, the blood pythons. They're really thick and strong. They're full-bodied snakes, and I like my snake like I like my women, thick and curvy, baby. But yeah, she was just a beautiful, just beautiful snake. And anyways, she tragically passed away of like a respiratory illness.
Yeah, she was. It was really hard to keep her in Boston, I guess,
Yeah.
where it was so cold already.
Yeah.
And she's from like a tropical place, so yeah.
Yeah, and I had heat lamps and all this shit,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it was like if you didn't have just the right amount of humidity and stuff, and
Yeah.
she caught a cold essentially, but she passed away from that. It was sad, but for both of us, we both loved her.
Yeah.
But and I think yeah. Anyway, so Curran had to find a roommate to replace me when I left, and the it's like I remember the first guy who took a tour of the place was some redheaded kid. He was this ginger kid, and
He had, yeah, I mean, not to
yeah,
push a stereotype, but he didn't look like he had any kind of emotion happening
yeah,
inside him.
right. He
He
had
was
about as much emotion as Priscilla.
yeah, I think she had more emotion.
She might have had more, actually.
He had about
He
as
was a
much
little
emotion
cold-blooded.
as a sidewalk, I would say.
Yeah. He was like bred from just, I feel like, a long line of men who were bankers. And
yes, and that was his aspiration. He was a financial analyst, and like, yeah, when you know how the scene in Terminator when Arnold Schwarzenegger just walks into the bar and it's just like absolutely deadpan. And the way he talks, picture that, but not as cool.
Not as cool.
Not as cool.
No, not as good looking and not as cool.
Yeah. And combine that with Christian Bale's character in American Psycho, and you have you have this.
Meanwhile, this kid, this redheaded fucking psycho, whatever he would call this cold-blooded ginger kid. This was the first. This was the first applicant. This was the first contestant to replace me that I brought in. Yeah. So I'm like, pat Curran on the back. Don't worry about it, buddy. I'll find somebody to replace me. Really sorry about all this. The first, and Curran's probably depressed, and it's like, hey, Curran, I found a kid who's gonna, come tour the place. You should be here so you can meet him, And the very first one is this cold-blooded, redheaded, reptilian soul young man who aspires to, who's like, for him being a banker is like being an actor.
It's the place,
dream,
the thing to do.
Yeah. There could be nothing more delicious than walking into that bank every day.
And he was like, he would say one of his first questions to us is, "Do you guys have a lot of parties?" I was like, "What?" I was like, "No."
That's so funny. You remember that? He walked into the place. We had these pictures on our wall as you walked down the hallway that we had framed. Of like, one picture was Kurt Cobain, one was Jesus, one was Jim Morrison, and then another one was like Krishna.
It kind of like always got people's attention because it happened in order. Like when you would enter the door and walk down the hallway into the living room, you would see in order. You would see like Jim Morrison, Jimi Hendrix, Kurt Cobain, Jesus, and then Krishna. And it would always throw people off because the first three were obviously, like music gods, and then suddenly you would see Jesus and Krishna, and they'd be like, what's going on here? But that was intentional. We were always we just wanted to we
liked that,
throw people off, because we were like, let's see how people react to this. And sure enough, everybody was like, why is Jesus there?
At some point we probably got tired of explaining it, but
but anyway, this guy saw it and he was like, do you guys have a lot of parties? I was like, what? I was like, wait, what? I was like, no, not really.
Why did he ask that?
Because what he said is like, he's like, because I work a lot of hours. I work 18 hours. Then I come home and sleep. I get up and go back again. And I was like,
fun is allowed within these walls.
And I was like, oh my goodness, I have to go from living with Matt to living with this guy.
He was like, he walked in our apartment. And he was like, is that joy I smell in this air? I
his
smell a
official.
hint of happiness in this foul air. Do you guys have a lot of parties? And he had this really cold, monotone, militaristic way of speaking. It
Very.
was like, I swear to God, this kid was either really like repressed and someone was forcing him to be that way, like his dad
Yeah.
or something, or he just, but I didn't get that sense. I got the sense he genuinely just stepped into those shoes and was like, yes, this is who I am. But the fucking, yeah, he was. So that was the first applicant. And I mean, oh yeah, we showed him Priscilla's tank.
Yeah.
We walked him over to my python's enclosure and aquarium, and we were like, yeah, this is our snake. This is Priscilla. She's pretty cool. And hope you don't mind, And he was like, no, I don't care. I'm not scared of snakes. Like, I mean, okay.
Yeah, it's good for you. It's good for you.
All
Good
right,
for you.
Captain
Yeah.
Fun.
And
Yeah.
yeah,
So yeah, and I just remember Karan. You could tell Karan was like, not. It was like, yeah, I'm not gonna,
that's
I'm not gonna live with that guy.
yeah.
So
He was
yeah,
yeah. When he left the apartment, I looked out the window just to make sure he walked away and didn't hang out around the corner waiting for
yeah,
me to come out so he could like ambush me with more emotionless questions.
yeah.
But
And
yeah,
so then Karan,
thankfully I never saw him again.
thankfully you never you counted your lucky stars. You never saw him again. And and then I don't remember other applicants, but I
Yeah, he was the only
yeah,
one I think while you
okay.
were around, and then after a
It
while,
was the one I found.
yeah, there was nobody around
Yeah.
for a while, and then in the meantime, Zach came and saw the place
Yeah.
and you were also like, I need to find someone soon because I can't keep carrying the rent on that.
Hmm.
And when Zach came, he seemed like a perfectly normal, like nice guy, and
Yeah.
yeah, so it just kind of like went to Zach,
Yeah, when he
and
was sober, he seemed that way. He seemed normal
yeah,
when he was sober.
he
Very
actually was
normal.
like
He
The
was
thing is,
Jekyll and Hyde.
you would sit in like there were times when I would be like, yeah, he's my roommate, let's hang out with him, and I would sit down and talk to him, and we'd start out fine, but he would drink like, not like how people would drink like, hey, let's have a couple of beers. He would take shots of whiskey and drink beer at the same time, and like within like half an hour of us hanging out, he would be just wasted, and he would just turn into like a different person, like, yeah, like
Yeah,
Hyde.
Jekyll and Hyde. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
He
I
was
was
and I say this truly with total respect and no judgment at all, because I know different people deal with different kinds of demons, but like
yeah,
Zach, I mean, he really did have demons, and sometimes he would talk about how his mom was, I think, schizophrenic,
yeah, yeah,
and
exactly.
he
Yeah,
really struggled with. I mean, you could tell that he had a good heart.
yeah, yeah.
You could tell he was not a bad guy, and he
No,
just
no.
really had some sort of repression or anger. And I remember, listen. And first of all, I'll say this. And by the way, this was like really sad news. And again, the reason I'm sharing this is because it's real life, and I think all of us have dealt with things like this. But Zach
Yeah,
passed away,
yeah. That's right.
and we got that news. I don't know how I found it out. Maybe you told me, or some, I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember I told you, like, Matt visited us a couple of times from Maryland, and so he didn't really know Zach that well. But I remember, um, you sensed there was something he was dealing with, because
Mm.
even after you left one time, and even after we all moved out of that apartment, Zach found a different place, and I
Oh
went to
shit.
Los Angeles, and you went to Baltimore. You called me and you were like, "Hey, can I have Zach's number?" And I gave it to you, and I was like, "Why?" And you were like, I feel like checking, making sure he's okay, and checking in on him, because I feel like he's dealing with something."
Oh my gosh.
And yeah, he was like, we it was sad because like after that I would keep in touch with him on Facebook, and he told me like he moved to another house in the same neighborhood, but what I liked is he seemed to have met someone who was like he really got along with, and like they would post on Facebook, and yeah, I was really happy about that. But then yeah, as you said, really sad, like just randomly we kind of on Facebook itself one day I saw like a bunch of people just writing like really like condolence messages on his wall, and that's when I found out, and I was like, oh my god, like that's really sad because
Yeah.
he was although it was on Facebook, he was just such a real person to us. Like we knew him, and we used to hang out with him, and it was just
Yeah.
sad to hear about that. But yeah, that's real life, man. That's, as you said,
Yeah.
like
I
you
mean,
can't
he
hide
like
from that stuff.
yeah, you can, yeah, and I don't think anybody, I think that it's giving something to people when they get to share these kinds of experiences and hear them. But
Yeah,
Zach, he worked in a restaurant, and I just remember from the times when I would come back up, and because I came back up a few times even after moving back to Maryland,
yeah.
back home to Maryland, I came up and visited Curran a couple times. And I remember when I first came back up and Curran was living with that guy Zach. First of all, the place was kind of in squalor. I mean, it was, and I think that had more to do with Zach than Curran, but I'm not sure. But it was, there were like whiskey bottles everywhere and stuff. Man, I don't always trust my memory. Sometimes my memory embellishes things, which is annoying. So I don't know what's true and what's not. And Curran, you can back me up or pipe in, but I
Yeah.
just remember. Anyway, so it was like, and they would watch this show. They would watch that show, Trailer Park Boys,
Yeah, our
and
life was like that because
yeah,
that show, although it's
they would
funny,
watch that
it's like,
show all the
yeah,
time.
it's like it's the joy, the comedy in that show is just how trashy
Yeah,
these guys are, but they do really funny things. And yeah, Zach introduced me to that show. Actually really like that show. I still like it. It's really
yeah,
really funny. But
yeah. It has like
yeah.
a cult following almost,
Oh
kind
yeah,
of.
it has a huge
It
following.
has a
Like
huge following.
it's a Canadian show, and it's in Canada. It's huge. Like it's in a sense like it's one of those like classic Canadian shows that got really popular even in the U.S.
I think
Um,
I didn't realize they had people like that in Canada, like kind of, like rednecky trailer parky kind of.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I guess you don't think about that because America is just such a presence in the world. But every country has its own trashy people. Like it does. Like they
that's
exist
funny.
everywhere. Like even in like Germany, like you will hear about like like I know this because there was this social media forum that I used to follow. It had a lot of Germans, and they would complain all the time about trashy German people who were like, always wearing these track suits. They had like, they were they were always like had these chains, drinking, just like all constantly like, getting in trouble with the law. Like so, I was just and I was like, even like a country like Germany that seems really put together to me.
Yeah,
Like there's trashy people like out there, and
yeah.
yeah, and then
Yeah,
we had our
trashy
friend. Yeah,
Eurotrash would be like hold on, that guy who plays Borat, what's his name?
yeah, Sasha Baron Cohen.
Yeah, his character Ali G.
Yeah, yeah,
That's like Eurotrash.
kind of, yeah, exactly. Like he obviously like that persona is exaggerated, but it's really he captures that part really well. And
Yeah.
yeah, like we even like this is something that even the UK, everyone thinks the UK is so put together, but
Yeah.
if you talk to people from Spain and Portugal who get like a lot of UK vacationers, like they just make so much fun of them, being like you get these guys coming to Spain, getting drunk and just being making total asses of themselves, and it's like, yeah, not
Yeah.
everybody in the UK is James Bond or Pierce Brosnan.
I thought they were.
I thought they were. Yeah,
My
yeah.
dream
You
is
grow, you
dead.
grow up, and the world becomes a little less. Yeah, um, adds more
A
color
little
as you
less
grow up. It's
romanticized.
yeah.
Yeah, at a certain point you realize that no one group of people is inherently better than another,
Yeah, exactly.
you
Yeah,
know.
yeah. It's we all have every populace, every race
Yeah.
has its own group of people that
Yes,
are just
we're all human,
embarrassment.
and we're all human, and because we're all human, we all have an equal capacity for both good and evil.
Yeah,
And that's why I don't really believe in, for example, just like taking a country like Germany and being like, I hate Germans because of
yeah,
World War II. I don't really believe in that, because the current Germans, they just had no part in that.
Yeah, yeah,
And you could say, like, if
exactly.
you're it's honestly to it's extremely racist to say, well, they must all be evil because they're descended from some of the people who did that. And it's like, no, that's not how it works. Those
Right.
people were not inherently evil. They were misled, and humans as a human race, we have the capacity to be misled.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
have the potential to be evil. All of us do. We all have that in us. Some of
yeah.
us more than others, like that redheaded kid who wanted to be a banker. He was more evil than the rest of us, but we all have a kernel of that that dark side.
Right. Yeah,
Um
yeah,
and
exactly.
and
Yeah,
it's like that's what it's like, look, I don't even get along great with my own dad. I mean,
right.
what makes you think that I would have just loved and agreed with my great 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 grandfather and everything he did?
Yeah,
Maybe I have a great 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 grandfather who owned a slave. You think I would, if he just materialized today, old Festus Mashburn, you think I would like love him and think he's great? I don't even get along with my dad. What makes you think I have anything in common with that guy
yeah,
who I don't
yeah,
even know his name? I don't even know
yeah,
who he is or was. I don't
yeah.
know anything about him.
I don't like that today. Like, I don't like how people try to pin the mistakes of the past on the present. I'm just
No.
like, why the hell are you going there? Like,
Yeah.
move on. Like, for God's
I
sake,
know.
like, you know.
It's a way of not moving forward. It's a
Yeah,
way
yeah,
it's a way of holding on.
Y-
It's egotistical, and it's defensive, and it's rooted in pain, and understandably so, because we know history. But the thing is, like, it's not really fair to the modern people alive today, and it's not fair to the person holding on to that grudge and that resentment, because you're kind of you're perpetuating a sort of hatred that
yeah,
it's not gonna I don't think it's gonna help anybody, and I don't think it's gonna help you. And it's like, yes, there are some people in the world today, not just white people, but people from other groups too, who who are racist. There are.
yeah,
And
yeah.
there are white people who are racist, but most aren't. And like,
Most
um
aren't exactly.
and
Yeah.
I mean, I think that literally everyone, even though no one will admit this, I think literally everyone has like a tiny kernel of racism inside
Oh
them,
yeah,
because it's a fear of it's a fear or a discomfort for the unknown, or for that
yeah.
which
Or
is
for the different.
the
Yeah,
different, for the different, exactly, the other.
yeah.
It's a form of othering, as a word I heard.
I really want David Attenborough to do like a Planet Earth style documentary, except about racism, because I
It's a
think
great
he's the
idea.
only person on the planet who can explain it correctly. Which is because in the
Yeah,
end of the day, it's a goddamn it's an animal instinct. Like chimps,
yeah,
there are chimps who look alike, but there are groups of chimps and they hate the other group of chimps, and it's just like it's a territorial thing,
yep,
and it's evolved in humans, but it
it's
hasn't disappeared
protective.
completely. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, yeah,
Until
it literally,
somebody from another planet comes to the Earth, that's when we'll be like, I love Earth. I love anyone from Earth because I'm an Earthling, and I don't like that guy because he's from another
right.
planet. So then you evolve into the next level of, you know, kind of
Yeah.
being territorial. But yeah, it's like,
But it's the truth is that in the world we live in, we don't have that option anymore to do that, because it's a globalized community. We all there are
yes,
it's a melting pot. We don't
yeah,
live in
yeah,
these little isolated farms where it's just me, my family, and a few other people, and we all look the same and do the same shit, and
yeah,
then you have to walk 34 miles to get to the next farm, and then it's this other family and we don't trust them. It's not that anymore. It's
yeah,
we live, especially in a place like America, like we can't afford to be racist, and that's why it needs to stop. But it goes to it's like people who are anti-progressive, and typically it's people who are older, like maybe baby boomers or whatever, who sort of hold on to some kind of prejudices, more so I think than the younger generations do. They they don't want to let go, and they want to sort of hold on to the past, and it's like, and it's on both sides. It's the people who hold on to that racism, and it's also the ones who hold on to the hatred of the people they think are racist.
Yeah.
And it just I do think that it dissipates as the generations progress. But it's not a realistic standpoint to take, that sort of that Nazi standpoint of like everyone should be like me. First of all, that sounds really boring to me, for everyone to fuck. I've never wanted to be in a place where everyone looks and acts like me. That sounds horrible. It sounds so boring. I like meeting people who are different than me. I mean, that's what's the point of life? But you know what? Not everyone's wired like that, and some people really fear it, and more than others, and some people really they feel like they don't want that. But the problem with their mentality, they want to try to take the world back to a time that we're never going to go back to. We can't make, unless you successfully kill everyone who's different than you, which is what Hitler tried to do. Unless you, and he didn't succeed, by the way, because in the end he, they lost the war and got fucked, and that's it. But like, unless you successfully exterminate everyone who looks or believes different things than you, you're going to be in a world, whether you like it or not, where there are people who look different than you and believe different things than you.
Great.
And so
Yeah.
rather than trying to egotistically hold on defensively to this idea of how the world is supposed to be, you do have to adapt.
Yeah.
Like at some point you have to let go of that. So, and by the way, I think I'm speaking to hopefully relatively a minority of people who hold on like that. But again, it's just such a hot topic today, and it's I mean, it's talked about too much, but it's
but that's the point of it, is like, the thing about this is there are people who are in power purely by playing people against each other. It's if you come from India, and this is by the way, I have zero kind of tolerance for Indians who fall for this divide and rule crap, because this is literally what the British did to us for the longest time.
Wow.
Like we contrary to what some people might think, India was not a backward civilization when the British arrived. It wasn't like Apocalypto, the way Mel Gibson portrays it, where they were literally savages killing each other, and then the conquistadors arrived and they brought in civilization. It wasn't that. India it has a long line of kings and technology that existed. Like it's still studied to this day, because wealth. Yeah, it was once
incredible resources.
Incredible resources. There's a reason spice trade and everything. Yeah, the Hope Diamond, which currently I think it's
in Washington D.C.
It's in Washington D.C. Yeah, give it back.
Yeah,
Just kidding.
Yeah. I don't know how we got it, but
yeah, I don't know, but we've given up on it at this point. We know
I remember when Karan said, you let it go. I remember when Karan saw the Hope Diamond, because I think I saw it with you, like in Washington D.C. I think we went there together.
Yeah, and I was just like,
I remember you whispered under your breath. You were like, "This fucking thing belongs in India." To be honest with you.
I did.
You were pissed. You were like, "Fuck the Hope Diamond. This thing belongs in India."
Yeah,
that's so great.
Because India doesn't have the greatest world view right now. A lot of people are just like, "Oh, it's a disgusting country," and this. I mean, they're right to a large extent. But what I want to remind them is it wasn't always that way. Like we were actually very, very at the time a progressive country with a lot of kingdoms and technology and stuff. But the British, they were smart. They came in and they were like, these guys are really good. Like they have technology, they have armies. We can't fight them on the ground. We can't, bring in ships of people from Britain. It's going to take too long. This was before the Suez Canal, all that stuff. Yeah. So they were like, what we are noticing though is this king doesn't like this other king. So here's what we do. We just go to this king and tell him like, hey, that guy thinks you're a dork. And then we'll go to the other guy and say the same thing. And we start getting them to fight each other. And when they fight each other and they're weak, that's when we swoop in and take over. And it worked like a charm. They did that and they took over the entire country. And they started.
That's so conniving.
They're so conniving.
That's so evil.
It's
That's evil.
But, but it worked. It worked like a charm, and to bring it back to what you were saying, what irritates me is it to this day in India, it still happens. There are still like politicians who are like, oh, that guy doesn't like you because he's from a different religion,
Yeah.
and that's why you need to vote for me because I'll keep you safe. And and these people are still fucking lapping it up. I'm just like, God damn, like pay attention to your history class. Like
Yeah.
America has a different history. Like you guys, like the British came and you were just like, get the hell out of here. And
Yeah.
it's kind of like a more epic history. It's
Yeah.
told in a very epic way. In India, we
Yeah.
teach like don't fall for divide and rule, and it still happens.
Dude, I remember that. That's crazy. I mean,
I
that's
know.
so evil. I mean, fucking imperialistic. But they would justify it with some sort of manifest destiny shit of
Oh yeah. Are you kidding
this is
me?
God's will type shit. It's crazy.
Like people love Winston Churchill, but I have no love for that guy because he took away a lot of
What did he
resources from
do?
India, and when asked about it, he was just like, well, it's their own fault.
Really?
Yeah. He was not very sympathetic towards Indians. I'm sorry
What
if you're a
the
Churchill
fuck?
fan. Listen, I know I get his allure, but I can't personally
You can't get
get
behind
behind
it.
him. But yeah,
Wow.
you do you. Yeah.
Damn.
He was he was like, yeah, exactly as you said. He was.
And by
just
the
like,
way, this what Karan is saying about Winston Churchill, for anybody listening who's skeptical, just keep in mind that's coming from a guy from India. This is not just coming from some liberal white kid at Harvard, telling you not to be racist. This is coming from a guy who grew up in India type shit. So, maybe you should listen or at least take it seriously, like
or at least you look it up on YouTube.
look it up, do your own research, but don't immediately respond the same way you would if you heard Jimmy Kimmel say it. This is Karan is from Bangalore, India. Okay.
Please don't cancel me. I only have a small podcast with 4 people listening to it. Don't cancel.
Don't worry, you'll be back just like Jimmy Kimmel. Jimmy Kimmel, they can't keep you away. The return of Mumigati to the airwaves.
I'm going to go on Twitter and tweet that right now, and people will be like, returning from what?
Dude, you want to? I've never tweeted on Twitter in my life.
I haven't much either. I have a Twitter account just to like go on there, but yeah, it's I don't tweet much.
Yeah, I don't know what to do with it. I don't understand it.
It can get a little exhausting because like it's just like a lot of people, like just a lot of chatter on there. So like if you like some kind of any kind of it's just too much coming at you.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I want to tell a joke, and if the audience would be so kind as to applause me. Not yet.
Have the audience? Did they even show up for work?
They haven't shown up. I don't even know if they're there or not. If they are, they're being as quiet as the grave. But I want to tell it. Oh, there they are.
You guys, what do we pay you guys for?
I don't know if I need to tell a joke because they'll laugh even just on command.
Go ahead, just give it a shot anyway.
Okay.
I mean, we have to. Yeah.
Okay. So I'll tell this joke. I hope I do it right. I wasn't prepared. I'm trying to decide whether to tell a short one or a long one. A man who has a drinking problem. He's sworn to his wife he'll never drink again, and she said she'll leave him if he ever drinks again. But he has a weak moment, and he ends up at a bar one night, and he's like, "Oh shit, I want to drink. Maybe she won't know. I could maybe get away this time with it." He goes to a bar, and he just like loses himself and gets really drunk. Has one too many, 5 too many, 10 too many, and he's really drunk, and he's like, "Oh fuck, I have to go home now, and my wife's gonna answer the door. She'll be able to or no, sorry." So he's at the bar, and he's really drunk, and he throws up on himself, on his coat, and he's like, oh fuck, now my wife's gonna see it and she'll smell it and she'll see that I threw up on it. She'll know I got really drunk. And then the guy at the bar next to him, he's talking to, guy says, hey, don't worry about it. And he takes out a $20 bill, and he tucks it into the man's front coat pocket. And he says, when you get home and your wife asks you why you're covered in throw up, just say, don't worry about it. It was this other guy threw up on me and he gave me this $20 bill to cover the dry cleaning, to clean it up. Cause
Right.
and he's like, okay, that's a good plan. I think that'll work. So he goes home with the $20 bill in his front pocket right there. And he gets to the door. Sure enough, his wife answers, where have you been? Oh my God, did you drink again? No, that's it. I've had it. And he goes, no, calm down. See this? He pulls the $20 bill out of his front coat pocket and he says, the man next to me threw up and he felt bad and he gave me this money to cover the dry cleaning. And the wife says, oh, okay. But what's that other $20 bill in your other pocket? And the guy says, that's from the man who shit in my pants.
Nice. So that sounds like a joke you would hear at a bar or on the poker table.
Yeah.
Either way, fun.
Yeah. I can't tell if I told it right, but I think I was close enough. But anyway, I wanted to just close out on this real quick. I wrote this little journal entry, I wrote this down on a note in my phone, and I wanted to just read it because I realized this is a place I feel really safe. So I wrote that. I'm just going to read what I wrote.
Nice. Yeah, let's hear it.
Okay. I love going into CVS. I get a deep sense of comfort being in there, especially in the morning when not many customers are in there yet. They always have this nostalgic 80s music playing that's silly and also oddly comforting, and it's always songs that are feel good and very light and feel really safe. And I walk in there and nobody else is there except one or two other customers, and I walk up and down the aisles, which are not too long or overwhelming like in a larger store, and the pallid glow of limp fluorescent lighting is gently caressing my face, and I just feel like I've come home, and it's all for me. The CVS store has been set up and laid out in delicate, thoughtful procession just for me to make me feel happy and safe. I feel happy and at peace in that place, and it makes me take longer to get my items because deep down I don't really want to leave. I'm happy and safe there amidst the face lotions, the vitamins, the Get Well Hallmark cards that cost way too much no matter where you buy them, and the discount candy and chocolate bars. It's my happy place. And then I wanted to say, what's a place that makes you feel that safe and happy, Karan?
That's really nice. The Boncani Show brought to you by CVS.
Yeah.
No, I know what you mean. I get the nostalgia part. I wouldn't say there's a place that gives me that, but this is what I do sometimes when I'm just like when I'm lying on my bed about to like go to sleep. I do this thing which some people might find weird, but I didn't like the way I set that up. But
can't wait to
it's
hear
wholesome.
this.
It's wholesome. Just stick with me.
Okay.
I put on commercials from the 80s and the 90s, like on YouTube. Like it's just a big video of like back to back commercials from the 90s or the 80s, and I just like I don't know. I find it very relaxing. I just like watching like
Oh, wow.
America or you know or or like products and toys and cars from that age, because it reminds me a lot of my childhood. It's like I'm
That's
just to give you
awesome.
context, I'm not that old, but I come
Yeah.
from a time when we got the Western technology way later in our, we used to there used to be a time difference between what was new in America and what was new in India. And so like when I was growing up, we were getting technology from the 80s, in India. And so like watching those commercials really kind of makes me feel nice. The other thing I like doing, which is it gives me the same feeling, is I watch videos of people playing really old video games, like really
Oh,
old,
no
like
way.
pixelated video games. Yeah, because I grew up playing that stuff. For anybody
Yeah.
out there, King's Quest. Yeah, I love that game.
I don't know that one, but I love
Yeah,
hearing about this.
I love that game because it's just such an adventure. It's like you control a guy who's on an adventure, going out, talking to people, solving problems, picking up items that help him along the way. Like it was just kind of like a nice, like very relaxing game to play. Um, and yeah, I still watch videos of people playing that, and it makes me feel really kind of like comfortable.
Was it
You know?
about a king?
Yeah, yeah, it
Oh,
was. It was very nostalgic and very whimsical. It was obviously by like if you it was featured in like a video game document. Oh no, not the one you saw with me. I thought you'd seen it with me, but no, it's featured in a. It's a very famous game. It's like it was made by Sierra, and I forget the name of the. It was created by a woman. She's American, and yeah, she got really big from creating these games. Her husband was like a computer engineer, so he helped her design it for computers, and yeah, it just took off. Yeah,
wow.
like yeah, a lot of fun.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's so cool. I love hearing about that. It's really nice hearing what somebody's safe place is. And I want to cuz we didn't really I want to dedicate this episode to that guy Zach.
yeah, yeah,
Um what we never said what happened to him or anything, but Zach had a real alcohol problem. He drank, and like I was saying, when I came into their apartment, it was like when I met Zach, he would buy a whole bottle of whiskey. He would finish that thing in like a night.
yeah,
Right? I mean, like
yeah,
3/4 of it maybe. And
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
He would.
and he would do that like every day. I mean, this kid had something, I don't know what was driving that. I mean, there've been, I don't know, some one or two people have speculated that maybe he was possibly closet gay, but we don't know, and we really don't know. But nobody knows. But he had, I know his mom was schizophrenic, and he talked about that sometimes. And he would, when he was drunk, he would do um kind of he would kind of act out a little bit in ways, or get kind of almost like he was trying to put on this overly masculine image or something to, I don't know what he was compensating for or what that came from, but it really was Jekyll and Hyde, where when he was sober, he was a really sweet guy. And honestly, he was a sweet guy, and he was a good guy. He loved music. He was good at guitar. He would write songs. He took guitar lessons. He was passionate about it. He showed me his I think it was a Fender Stratocaster he
Yeah,
had.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, and he showed that to me one time. And it was weird because as uncomfortable as he sometimes made me feel when he was really drunk, I never disliked him or felt like he was a bad guy. I knew it was obvious he was struggling with something. I guess that's why I told you that time, like, oh, maybe I should. Yeah, I can be a little bit of an empath sometimes about sensing if something is wrong with someone. And I guess that was one of those times. And um, I don't know if I did call him or not. I feel like I might have tried to text him or something. But anyway, we got word sometime down the line that he, died, and I think he died of alcohol poisoning. I think he died from
yeah,
drinking. How old do you
yeah.
think he was? How old was Zach when he died? Do you think?
I don't know. I want to say he was in his what he was in his like late 20s. He was 3 years younger than me, and I'm pretty sure I was in my early 30s when I heard about that. And
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know exactly what happened to him, what got him in the end, but
Yeah.
yeah,
But I would imagine that it was either, I mean, the way he drank was it was like a form of suicide. It was like a form of prolonged suicide in a way.
yeah,
Whether that was totally conscious or not. And I'm assuming he died of something related to alcohol poisoning, but I don't really know.
yeah,
And but it made me really sad when I got that news, even though I didn't know him as well as you did. And um, I can only imagine it made you really sad too. And I want to dedicate this episode to Zach because despite he was kind of a tortured soul, and I really feel for those people. And
yeah,
he was a good guy, and he had a good heart, and I think he was really trying his best to make life make sense for him.
yeah,
And it didn't work out in the end. But
yeah,
I saw the things people wrote on his Facebook, like his guitar teacher wrote something about how passionate he had been about guitar, and
yeah,
it was moving, and he I remember he loved Elliott Smith, and I remember when I was there, he basically introduced me to Elliott Smith. He kind of had me listen to one of his songs, and I didn't like it at first, but Elliott Smith's kind of grown on me in years past, and I think I can thank Zach for that. Um, and it was really sad, when someone goes away really young. And so uh, Zach was a good guy, and I dedicate this episode to him. And to anybody out there who is struggling or feels tortured or feels they're in a place that's miserable, um, you need to know that the world needs you in it all the more because of that. Um, because you'll be able to communicate and to understand things on a level that other people who haven't gone through whatever you're going through just won't be able to. And those same feelings that make you feel desperate or alone, those are the feelings that make you the most valuable to this world. And it needs you in it, and you have so much to share. And yeah, that's all. I dedicate this episode to Zach. Yeah.
yeah. Well said. It's true. I mean, one thing about him is he did kind of talk a lot like he didn't really have anyone in this world, but like I think if only he was around to see how many people actually did kind of miss him when he was gone. I know if anybody ever feels that way, just it's not as desolate as you think. But I guess that's why they have suicide hotlines and resources for people who are kind of like going through a lot of mental struggles.
Yeah.
Reaching
and
out is
and
probably one of the best things you can do in that sense.
well, yeah, and therapy is really can be really helpful. If you might need to go through one therapist before you find, like, you need to find the right one. But like, it's therapy really helped me, and it can help other. Did I just burp into the mic? That's awful. I'm gonna
I
edit
heard
that out.
something, but I don't know what was that.
Oh, well, and there I go. I could have given myself the benefit of the doubt, and there I go. No one knew and then now they know. So, but yeah, if you're, if yeah, here's the thing. It's a switch that you flip, and it's in your hands, whether to flip it or not, which is the switch of all the stuff I'm taking seriously that feels really heavy. It does not
Yeah,
matter as much as I'm telling myself it does. And it is honestly, it's a perspective switch. But there's a lot of people who, when they go to 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 kill themselves or jump off or whatever they're doing to kill themselves, suicide survivors, what they always say is, in the last few seconds before I hit the ground, or before I did it, I felt regret, and I thought I shouldn't be doing this. And
Yeah.
thankfully they survived. But I guarantee you a lot of people who don't survive suicide have those same thoughts in the seconds before it's all over for them and the
Yeah.
lights go out. They have those thought of, I shouldn't do this. Because
Yeah.
and the thing that happens, a lot of these suicide survivors, after their failed attempt at suicide, they find so much happiness, and they become this whole other version of themselves that is just that realizes that pain, that mental pain that they were in, it's self-inflicted. It's coming from a refusal to look at those things in a different way and realize it's not as important as you think it is and as you're telling yourself it is, and to look at it in a different way where you realize that your life is your life and you can do with it whatever the fuck you want. And nothing that anyone else says matters, because they should just be living their lives and not worrying about what you do with yours. And if you can have that perspective switch and allow yourself to be free, you can be so much happier. And it's not going to fix everything overnight and make but it's so much of what we tell ourselves is a horrible problem in our lives. So much of it is part of like a story or a narrative that we've weaved in our own mind.
Yeah.
And if you
Yeah.
can flip that script and flip that narrative, that's what you need to work on, and then you'll be free. So step away from the ledge, my boy.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Don't do it.
Yeah. Back away.
Back away slowly.
Think twice.
Yeah. And better to hear it from us than from a stout police officer with a handlebar mustache holding a revolver. Actually, I don't know why he'd be holding a revolver, but
yeah.
anyway.
I think this we can.
Nice. I like it. Well, it's a serious note, but still a positive one. So we'll end it on
note indeed. We're
100%.
all about positivity here. We're all about positivity.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah,
we really are. Find
We
your
believe
safe
in
place. Yeah, find your safe place. Go to CVS early in the morning.
Just watch like video games or watch old commercials. You love it.
Be kind to yourself. Be kind to yourself and find that safe place. There's the message for the week. All right.
Yeah.
All right. And with that, we will sign out for now.
Yes.
It's been great. And Karan, we'll talk soon.
Yeah. Thank you, valued listener. We will see you.
We will see you, Solomon. All right.
Next week.
Okay.
Bye-bye.